welcome back to Cooking with Ali. Today we're going to cook a really simple and easy dish called Penne Arrabiata. Arrabiata means angry in Italian due to its spiciness of the meal. Now, we're doing this really simple dish is because I want to show you, this is one of my favorite dishes actually when I go to an Italian restaurant, if they have it on the menu. Sometimes I just ask them to make it for me, and the reason why I want to do this real simple because I want at home users to be able to, when they're cooking, to make things a little bit more simplified. Okay. The only thing is that most restaurants or cooks are going to just take plain tomatoes and dice them up and saute them in the frying pan for this dish, or they're going to just use some canned diced tomatoes. I want to show you the old-fashioned way on how to blanch a tomato and seed it and dice it. It really gives it that much more flavor and authenticness to the dish. Okay, so I have some vine-ripe tomatoes here. Now again, I'm just showing you the way that this should be done. If you want to use cherry tomatoes and dice them up or slice them in half and then saute them, if you're in a quick and you're trying to cook more rapidly, you don't have the time. If you want to use some canned diced tomatoes and juice, that's fine. It just doesn't have that great flavor that you would like in it. We're going to just grab a couple of these tomatoes. Now, this is called tomato concasse, okay? Now what you do is you boil some water and you add some salt to it. Okay, I already had this pre-boiling. Just a little bit of salt, just to season up the tomatoes. Okay, and you're going to core your tomatoes. So you get the knife. They have tomato cores out there, if you like. I'm just going to take the core out. Okay. And it's really simple to do this if you prep it up ahead of time, just having your water on and then you're going to put an X in the back side of the tomato. See that? Just an X right there. Okay? With a little bit of a paring knife. I just have 2 tomatoes, and I'm going to grab a nice bowl of ice water. Now again, this should take about 30 seconds, 20 seconds, depending on your tomato, how ripe it is. If it's a little more softer, it's going to go faster. If it's a little bit more firm, then you're going to have to leave it in there for a little bit longer. And the consistency of your flame, whether it's electric or a gas stove, then if it's higher and you have a higher flame, it's going to cook it a lot faster. So you're going to drop your tomatoes in there. Make sure you just don't drop them in so you don't splash hot water over yourself. Okay. As you can see, you don't want to cook these tomatoes. You just want to remove the skin. So you can test them real quick and just, oops, it's almost ready, but it's not quite. Again, it could take 10 seconds, 20, 30, depending on the size of tomatoes. If you have larger heirloom tomatoes, and usually heirlooms are a little bit more softer and not as firm when they're completely ripe. See that? Look at that. See that skin coming off right there? That's when I know it's ready. And I'm going to drop it in the ice water. Why? Because I wanted to stop the cooking. Okay. So I have it right there in the ice water. I'm going to turn off my water and remove it. Okay. So the ice water stopped it from cooking. So I'm just going to peel it real quick. See how easy that is? And see how firm that tomato is now? That's what we're looking for. Okay. And I'll tell you right now, this makes so much better when you're making pasta dishes, or if you're making bruschetta, fresh bruschetta. Cleaning the skin off, taking the seeds out. To me, that gives the flavor and the quality of the tomato and the consistency when I'm cooking it also. Okay. Then what you're going to do, take your tomato, as you can see right there. I'm going to quarter it into 4s. And we're not going to use all this tomato here into the pasta dish. There's a little excess amount. I just want to make sure we learn. You're going to you can squeeze it, or you can just use your thumb and your finger. Just take the seeds out. Okay? Just take the seeds out of here. Okay, it's just that easy. And I tend to make all my pasta dishes, I take the time out. Even when I'm working in restaurants or catering or hotels, I've always taken the time out to do this. I make sure I plan my day accordingly, because if I have to make, 25 pounds of tomatoes this way, I do it. I feel that it's needed. It's kind of lost art. People just don't want to take the time out to cook this way anymore, and I want to make sure that you have that flavor, that authentic flavor that you should have, such as a restaurant. Next, I'm going to take these tomatoes, as you can see, and we'll just dice them up. I like them up a little bit to a medium dice. Medium to a large. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my frying pan. Again, I'm not going to teach you how to cook pasta. You already know how to boil pasta. So we have some penne pasta here. We have some fresh garlic, some chili flakes. I have a little bit of parsley, basil. Now the dish calls for basil in most recipes. Sometimes the recipes call for tomato paste, or they ask for just plain marinara, or nothing. This is my preference and what I like eating. So here's my tomatoes. Get this real nice and hot. You can actually take fresh garlic and you can dice it up really, really fine. I'm not going to do that. I want it nicely sliced. And I want to taste the garlic kind of roasting here. And you're going to see why in a minute. So getting the frying pan real nice and hot. Now again, it's on the garlic, it depends on how much garlic you like. If you like that garlicky flavor. If you don't, you can put less. I like to taste the garlic in my pasta, especially if this is all we're having, tomatoes and garlic. So I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil than normal that you would put. Again, and you don't want to get the olive oil just too hot, again, because it becomes a little bit bitter. Okay, your olive oil has a low smoking point, and smoke point means that it can start on fire faster. When other oils such as peanut oil and canola oil has a higher smoke point. Okay, so once you see the oil is like that and it moves fast, you know it's pretty hot. Okay, so what we're going to do right away, what I did here also too is I brought in some shrimp, because just in case you want to add shrimp or chicken to it, not always, you don't need to. You can leave it vegetarian. Just add a little shrimp right there. Put that to the side. Slightly toss it. So what I'm going to do is add a few shrimp to this. Saute it. Again, this is a really quick dish that you can cook at home. Look how fast the shrimp are cooking. I'm going to add my garlic right away, because I want to see that garlic fry. Look at that. See that cooking right there? Tongs. Already you can smell those shrimp seasoning themselves in the oil. Make sure you toss it around. And that looks like a lot of oil, but when you're cooking the pasta and you're not using that much sauce, you want that much oil. You want the oil inside the pasta so it seasons it and flavors it. And I'm going to keep tossing my oil around so that garlic gets cooked evenly. But if you go like this, oh, you can smell that garlic. And that's what you want in this pasta dish. And cooking these shrimp at least 3/4 of the way, you're ready. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tomatoes here, the fresh tomatoes, I'm going to add them. If you want a little bit more tomato in it, it's up to you. And again, you're going to see how fast you can make this dish at home. It's really quick. If you pre-cook your pasta ahead of time, again, you don't have to add shrimp, you don't have to add chicken. It's just plain tomatoes and garlic without the shrimp. I'm adding shrimp in here because I like to have a little bit of protein in it. And then you're going to lightly add your pasta to this dish. Now again, if you want to make it for a few more guests or family members, what you're going to do ahead of time is get a larger frying pan. This way you don't overstuff it. Okay. And what I'm going to do real quick when I do that, I'm going to deglaze a little bit lightly, just a little white wine. And this kind of cleans up the bottom of the frying pan and releases all those flavors that with the garlic and the shrimp that came into the frying pan. Okay. Next, as I'm working here, I'm going to chop up a little bit of basil. Let me grab some basil from here. Now you don't have to go fancy and really fine, just really lightly chop it up and lightly drizzle it. And depending on the spiciness, you can just add a little bit, a tad bit. Again, it is fire hot. I like to have it a little bit spicier. I'm into the spiciness. Look at that. And then last of all, just a tad bit of marinara. If you have marinara at home lying around, if you have it in a jar, it's fine. Again, I want you to understand this is a quick and easy meal. Now, it's not made for a tomato sauce. It's not a tomato-y pasta where it's supposed to be soaked in a lot of tomato. See how fast and easy? Again, this is restaurant style. This is what you're going to get. It's nice and fresh. You want to add more basil, you want to add a little parsley. You can always take a little bit of parsley off. And again, the Italians don't sit there chopping all day. They just actually tear things apart and add it to it. You hear that sizzling? Wow. See how fresh that is? I guarantee you it's tasty. Okay. Now all you have to do is plate it up. You want to, you can organize your shrimp a little bit more on the plate. Pull them out so people can eat them. Look how nice and flavorful that looks. You want to put a little extra black pepper over the top, season it, and then last of all, okay. Now again, when I boiled my pasta, I boiled it with some salt, so it was ready seasoned with a lot of salt. We seasoned the shrimp. Everything had enough flavor to it. If you want to add a little more salt, you can. I like using fresh Parmesan. Okay, I guess a Romano, okay. All of this, look how fresh and tasty that is. And I guarantee you it's really tasty. Oh, perfect. Again, it depends on the spiciness that you want. I love the overabundance of spice. I like spicy food. And that's called Penne Pasta Arrabiata. Okay, thank you.